the University of North Dakota, this is Inside Fighting Sioux Hockey.
Hello and welcome to Inside Fighting Sioux Hockey. I'm Tim Hennessy. The Sioux Gopher series came and went, and it was fresh. Friday night's game had it all, but the Gophers hang on for the win. Saturday's rematch, though, all Fighting Sioux in a 4-1 win to stay on top in the WCHA standings. Got a great show for you. He started skating on the lake in his backyard and somehow ended up between the pipes. He's had a great success at the junior and college level. Goaltender Brad Eidsness is the subject of our player profile, and he was one of the most promising prospects of this year's senior class. He stumbled and fell, but picked himself up, dusted off, and is now one of the most feared goal scorers in the country. We'll have a feature on Matt Frattin that you don't want to miss. Stick around. Coach Hakstol is going to give us his take on last weekend's games with Minnesota. But before we talk to the coach, we have a question for you. Which one of these former Sioux players was not a finalist for the Hobey Baker Award? The answer and more when we come back. You're watching Inside Fighting Sioux Hockey.
Inside Fighting Sioux Hockey is sponsored by Verizon, the University of North Dakota, Shields, Grand Forks Convention and Visitors Bureau, Baller Insurance, and Dahlstrom Motors.
Fighting Sioux Women's Hockey takes on Minnesota State Friday, January 28th and Saturday the 29th at the Ralph. Both games get underway at 7:07 p.m. Purchase your tickets today.
We are North Dakota.
Receptions jumping, bases pumping. Look at the girl and your heart starts thumping. Says she wanna dance to a different groove. Now you know what to do to bust the move. Bust the move.
Hurry in. Right now, smartphones talk free. Add any smartphone to a family share plan and share minutes for free.
So overall, this is going to have a $300 million impact.
North Dakota Spirit, the campaign for the University of North Dakota. Join us.
It's a place to get a vibe shop, put shopping into overdrive. A great place to wine and dine, make taste buds jump and jive. Yeah, it's great as Great Forks, a great destination. Great as Great Forks. They don't call it Grand for nothing. Stop. Chopped up into greater Grand Forks, it's simply grand.
Before the break, we asked you which one of these Sioux players was not a finalist for the Hobey Baker Award. The answer was Ian Kidd from the '87 championship team. Ian never had a dinner. Welcome back to Inside Fighting Sioux Hockey. I'm Tim Hennessy with head coach Dave Hakstol. Coach, it was the Minnesota weekend, Sioux and the Gophers, and it was buzzing for a couple of weeks before you got together at Engelstedt Arena. How much do you try to keep that down a little bit with your team, or can you?
Well, I think it's impossible to, to not pay attention and not to know things are going on around you. But at the same time, you stay in your routine. We talked about it a lot last week. You stay in your routine. You do your work on a daily basis, and obviously the extra adrenaline is probably flowing a little bit on Friday night. But the most important thing when it comes right down to it, I think the fans probably got full value this week. I think they saw two pretty good hockey games, two different hockey games, but two pretty good hockey games.
Really did, as we go to the highlights of the Friday night game, and started with some pressure early for your team in front of a packed house, and it always is. We had the Thunder Sticks. How do you like those?
That was interesting. That added a little added flavor.
This may be giving us an indication of what Ken Patterson was going to be like that night, and he was solid.
Well, I thought Patterson was real good for Minnesota in goal. We weren't happy with our start. We weren't happy with our first period, giving up a 2-goal lead in our own building. But, in saying that, what we had to focus on really on Saturday morning after the loss was the good things that we did, and we did an awful lot of good things. We just had to play a more complete 60 minutes on Saturday night versus what our game looked like on Friday.
Well, they get that first goal, and that one's a puck battle along the boards. Those are ones you have to win, don't you?
You have to win those, and you have to have better coverage, be stronger in the middle of the rink. You know, we saw them score the one-time goal. Mike Hofel scored from right in the prime scoring area, and you have to be stronger defensively in that area if you're going to lose the battle on the wall.
You make it a battle, certainly, with the goal from Jason Gregoire, a beautiful goal. Early in the third period, it looks like you're back in it and maybe take control of that game. And really, you did to a point, but you just weren't able to score a goal.
Yeah, Tim, I thought we did take control of the game from the start of the second period on, and we finally tied it up early in the third. We gave that one back pretty quickly a few minutes later on a tough penalty that we took in the offensive zone, and we just couldn't tie it up from there. They hung on and did a good job. They did a good job, keeping us off the scoreboard for the rest of the night. And that's what happens when you give up a 2-goal lead and don't play well early. Sometimes you don't dig yourself out.
Coach, what happened on the power play goal that ended up being the winner real quick?
Well, the Minnesota power play goal. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think back to that one.
Nico Sacchetti got.
Nico Sacchetti was. That's right. Yeah, we didn't have that on our highlights. You know what? It was that was a play where we just again weren't strong in the right scoring area, and a bounce of the puck on that play coming right out to the weak side where we were. Again we got pulled away from our net a little bit. They got a good bounce on it, and he buried it. But at the end of the day, that's usually what happens when you take 2 or 3 or 3 or 4 poor penalties along the way. A couple of them are going to end up in the back of your net, and that's what happened on that particular night.
Saturday night, again, a full crowd and a lot of heads-up plays by your team to score goals. I mean, you had to make plays, and you made them.
Yeah, you know what? I thought we did a good job in the first period. I liked our first period. We came out with real good pace. We built the lead. We had some power play opportunities, obviously, with the extended 5-on-3 late in that period, and would have been nice to come out with more than just a 1-goal lead. But in saying that, we had the 1-goal lead and did a good job in the second and third periods, getting through some penalty problems, and then as well building that lead to a 2- and 3-goal lead right there with Danny Cristo scoring the 4th goal in the third period.
And you don't get a win like that, give up just 1 goal, that's your goaltending solid, and it was again, wasn't it?
Well, Arundel gave up one that was a lob shot from the blue line. Everything he saw, he stopped, and he made a couple of real critical saves for us. When the game was tight and on the line, and then he finished it out by with a great performance on that late 5-on-3 penalty kill that we had.
Good series, no doubt about it. Entertaining for the fans, that's for sure. Coming up, another weekend in the books, and the standings are as tight as ever. We'll take a look at that. And it's a story of a second chance and making the most of it, and how UND's Matt Frattin's character is winning a tough battle. Our feature story with the nation's leading goal scorer is coming up.
The play is under review.
Hey, take a look at this.
This online course is awesome.
Yeah, I gotta see that again.
I've been snowboarding for 16, 17 years. I just enjoy going out, getting a trick and just getting it dialed so you can just stop it every time. You'll have days where everything's just clicking and you're able to just land everything you try. I don't even like stopping to eat. When you're riding and everything's going well, you feel invincible. Just seeing me out on the hill and riding and just having a good time, they're gonna come in here and know that I know what I'm talking about. It makes a big difference with the customers. I'm Wade Fisher from Shields.
For information about summer hockey camps, go to fightingsioux.com or call 701-777-6595.
The insurance puzzle. Each piece is specific to you and your business. Each part fits in its own way, with only one combination that works best. Every organization has its own individual insurance puzzle. The key is to find your very own solution. Voller Insurance can help. We've been tailoring insurance solutions since 1947, providing VIP service one business at a time. Let us help solve your insurance puzzle. Voller Insurance, Grand Forks, Fargo, Bismarck, Minneapolis, Sioux Falls.
Sioux forward Matt Frattin was the leading goal scorer in the WCHA. He also went through some rough times this past year. Twice he was involved in alcohol-related incidents that put his spot on the team in jeopardy.
The halls of the Ralph Engelstad Arena have reminders, simple words that inspire, urge, and push young men to succeed. But it takes much more than that.
It takes a high level of commitment and focus. And you really have to put everything into a very narrow number of things in your life.
Starting as a young kid, you just want to get out there on the outdoor rinks. I was always the kind of kid that just would love to go to the outdoor rinks in my free time.
Sioux forward Matt Frattin knows what it takes to succeed at the game. His record this season is stellar, his best yet.
I don't know, I'm just shooting the puck and the puck's going in for me.
Matt's the kind of forward teams want. Not the kind the coach sends home before the season starts.
The way he was living his life away from the rink wasn't what it needed to be.
It was obviously just a little depressing time because the sport you love, I've been playing since I was 4 years old, kind of been taken away.
It was the beginning of a journey that would bring him back to where he started, playing with teammates that missed him as a player and a friend.
You remember where you were when you heard the news type of deal, and I remember getting the phone call from him saying that, you know, he wasn't coming back.
When it's a close buddy like that, it was, really tough. It was, I guess you could kind of compare it to like saying goodbye, but it just on that circumstance was, was pretty sour.
Matt's road to a successful season was not as smooth as his snapshot would suggest.
Yeah, I got in a little trouble there in the summer, and I went back home for right before school started.
The best thing for our program, as well as the best thing for Matt, was for Matt to be taken off the roster.
Matt's mistakes had closed the door of opportunity at UND. Other players may have moved on, played in another league, but Matt wanted to wear a specific jersey.
I had to come back and prove to the school, to the fans, and to my teammates and coaches why I picked North Dakota.
He took the hard and difficult path, and a real honest path, and decided to work his way back towards our program.
And Matt did earn his spot back. Halfway through his third season of eligibility, Matt started skating with the Sioux again.
Not a lot of people are able to do that. A lot of people will turn the other way and go away from the problem.
Matt Frattin's words may not end up in the hallways of this arena, but sometimes inspiration comes from a person's actions, not his words.
Really excited that I'm back on track and playing the sport I love again.
When Matt was cut from the team, he also lost his scholarship for that time. He took out his own student loan to continue his studies. Big points on the weekend for the Beavers and the Seawolves, and the Sioux will hold on to the top spot in the league. We'll look at the standings. And some great plays from a sophomore, a junior, a senior, and big hits all over the ice. That was the Sioux Gopher weekend. We'll take a closer look. And with the coach, Dave Hakstol, when Inside Fighting Sioux Hockey continues.
This is a place where innovation abounds, a place where dreams come true, a place where creativity is a way of life, a place that fires our soul. Join us for the North Dakota Spirit Campaign. Together, we will shape the future of UND and North Dakota.
Shopping into overdrive. A great place to wine and dine, make a taste for jump and jive. Yeah, it's great as Grand Forks, a great destination. Great as Grand Forks. They don't call it Grand for nothing. Stop, hop, chopped up into great as Grand Forks. It's simply great.
The University of North Dakota is a place where students thrive, where they learn from leading experts, share in discoveries, and create knowledge. Experience our expertise. Creative, innovative, entrepreneurial, spirited. This is the University of North Dakota.
Dreams are forged. Character is tested. Teams are united. Champions win here. Watch the crowning of a new NCAA Men's Frozen 4 champion April 7th and 9th on ESPN and ESPN2 in high definition. For information, visit ncaa.com/Frozen4.
Tight race. We welcome back Coach Dave Hakstol with us and Inside Fighting Sioux Hockey. Tight race in the WCHA. You're on top, but if you look at it, it's not a precarious perch right now, but there's a lot of people right behind you, isn't there?
Yeah, there's not a lot of points that separate a lot of different teams, so it's a tight race. I mean, we knew that going into the second half that it would be.
Seawolves get 4 from Colorado College, shut them down in Anchorage, and that's not, I guess, not a huge surprise because they always get somebody up there. They get them at least one time. But Bemidji State and Nebraska-Omaha, I don't think Coach Blaze wants to see the Beavers anymore this season, huh?
Well, Bemidji's had a little bit of success against UNO, and you know, it's funny how, you know, different rivalries and different series can go, but UNO outshot Bemidji in each of those games, and they, you know, ended up losing a tight one in overtime on Saturday night.
Well, we talked about a sophomore, a junior, and a senior doing an outstanding job this weekend, and we've got some film to show that. Let's take a look at it. First, Corbin Knight has been just almost unbeatable on faceoffs. As the season has gone on, he's getting better and better, and this one right here leads to a goal.
Well, he's going at better than 60, 66, 67%, and this is a set faceoff play coming off of a line change. Minnesota was not able to change on this play. We were, and our guys talked about this going out. It's a little kick-out play to Brad Hakstol for the one-timer, and you know, you shoot the puck and good things happen, and went in off of Corbin Knight's body.
Another power play opportunity for you here, and just a great passing play. Jason Gregoire starts it down low to Evan Trupp, to Hakstol, back to Gregoire for a goal.
Yeah, real good poise. Good vision there by Evan Trupp. Real good patience and poise by Hexy, and Jason finishes it off with the empty net on the back door. And just a real good return for Jason Gregoire after being off for 6 weeks to come back and play at the level that he played this weekend. It's pretty amazing.
We see what Brett Hakstol brings to that power play. When he's back, the numbers support that as well.
Yeah, when he's playing well, he's involved in every aspect of the game, physically, offensively, defensively, and we saw that on Saturday night.
He made a great point on Evan Trupp on this giveaway, or this steal by Evan Trupp, and the position he had with his skate.
Well, a lot of players, you know, this puck will hit him in the leg and create the turnover, but Evan Reeds plays so well, and I don't know if he reads players' eyes or just motions or their stick, but he's got a great sense in that manner. Picked that puck off, and that was a huge play for us.
Well, then he goes 5-hole. That's not unusual for him as well, but he's got the quick stick and the quick shot. That's a big goal.
It is. Huge goal for our weekend.
And we talked about hits on the weekend. There were a lot of big hits, and the one with Matt Frattin prior to this one by Brad Malone that ended the second period on Friday night, but the one on the young Mark Alt, who's a big kid. And he comes down, it looks like he thinks he's got Matt Frattin lined up to put his head down and go to the net, and next thing you know, he's flying through the air.
Well, he's such a powerful player. You know, his lower body is so strong, and he can explode through hits even when he has the puck. And he saw Mark Alt coming and was braced and ready for that hit.
All right, let's clear it up. There's been arguments all over town after the hit by Brad Malone on Brad Weirs down in the corner there, and where he's been hit several times. It was a solid, good hit, wasn't it?
It was a great hit. I mean, it's a low hit. It's a hit to the chest, straight on. It's a great hit. And we had a lot of good physical play this weekend. I thought we started one period too late. I didn't think we established that in the first period on Friday night in our own building, and that's something that we have to correct. We did a good job. We didn't take a lot of penalties with our physical play. We were disciplined, and I thought we did it the right way.
Very nice. Coach Dave Hakstol will be back with us again. Tough enough for any student to finish college in 4 years. So how about a D1 hockey player getting it done in 3? That's Brad Eidsness' story. We'll ask him how he's doing, how he's going to do it in our player profile. We'll get to that, but first a look back in our Fighting Sioux history. He won a national championship with the Sioux in 1987, scoring 19 goals that year. But where is Scott Koperinski now? We'll have the answer and more when we come back.
When the drum beats go like this. Kicks and blocks. When the drum beats go like this.
For information about summer hockey camps, go to fightingsioux.com or call 701-777-6595.
The 2011 Red Baron WCHA Final Five returns to the Xcel Energy Center March 17th through the 19th. With 2 new teams in the WCHA Conference, the tournament is now 6 teams strong. Plus, you can catch a Minnesota Wild game on Saturday afternoon when the Wild take on Columbus, followed by WCHA Fan Fest and the championship game of the tournament Saturday night. Visit XLEnergyCenter.com or stop on by the Xcel Energy Center box office.
As summer is left behind, fall brings new adventures. Make them better with a vehicle from Dahlstrom Motors. Whatever adventures come your way, Dahlstrom can make the difference in making your life a smooth ride.
You've got to be prepared out there. The conditions can be very demanding.
It's not easy heading out in the winter.
You're facing altitude, wind, snow, and changes in temperature.
All your layers and accessories have to work together.
You need gear that's up to the challenge.
But you need styles that are up to date.
Experience and training can make all the difference.
My training is really helpful to the customers.
I'm Zach Angus.
And I'm Melissa Langseth.
And we're experts in cold weather gear at Shields.
The answer to our Where Are They Now question, Colbert, as most people know him, is heading up the parkboard hockey in Grand Forks and still volunteers as a coach for the Fighting Sioux. He was an MVP in the Alberta Junior League, not Koperinski, this guy. Rookie of the Year in the WCHA and all academic as well. We talked with Brad Eidsness about how it all started. We're with North Dakota junior goaltender Brad Eidsness. Brad, let's start right from the start, and that was Chestermere, Alberta, where you were born and raised, I guess. What's Chestermere like?
Chestermere is a small town, just 10 minutes east of Calgary, and I guess I grew up there my whole life, lived in the same house, and was very fortunate I was able to grow up on a small lake there, and so I grew up playing hockey on the lake after school and I guess on the holidays. So that's kind of where it all started, and played on from there.
So when did you put the goalie pads on for the first time?
Oh, I think I probably started playing goal when I was about 8 or 9 years old, and then I was able to play goal kind of off and on for 2 or 3 years, and then I think when I was about 11 years old, I finally decided that I was going to play it full time, and I kind of went from there.
Well, you had a brilliant junior career. That must have been fun, huh?
Yeah, it was. I was able to, I was put in a really nice spot in Okotoks, Alberta, which is about 25 minutes south of Calgary, and I wasn't far from home. I was only 45 minutes from home, and I was with a great billet family, and had a good situation at the school there, and it just all kind of worked out, and it went really well. You're going to graduate at the end of this year. How did that happen? I mean, a lot of students, student athletes in particular, take so much time with their sport, and study sometimes is secondary. Obviously with you, that's not true, huh? Yeah, well, it just kind of all fell into place. You know, I took a couple courses while I was in junior, and then I took some courses the summer before I came in here, and then just kind of took the regular amount of courses going through, and I guess a couple courses throughout the summer, and everything's really worked out. So it's a good opportunity and something that I think is very important, and it's been nice how it's all played out. So you'll be back next year? That's a loaded question. I guess only time will tell. I'm not really focused on that. We're here to win this season, and the decisions that have to be made afterwards will be made afterwards.
Brad, thanks for this, and best of luck in the future.
Thank you very much, Jim.
North Dakota goaltender Brad Eidsness. Although Eidsness finds himself in a backup role, at least for now, I expect he'll play a large role in this team's success. Well, this week, a new WCHA opponent to Ralph Engelstad Arena. Coach Hakstol will talk about Nebraska-Omaha when we come back.
Inside Fighting Sioux Hockey is sponsored by Verizon, the University of North Dakota, Shields, Grand Forks Convention and Visitors Bureau, Baller Insurance, and Dahlstrom Motors.
Come on, come on, come on.
That is a great online course.
Women's hockey takes on Minnesota State Friday, January 28th and Saturday the 29th at the Ralph. Both games get underway at 7:07 p.m. Purchase your tickets today.
We are North Dakota.
Studio One is a television show produced by staff and students at the University of North Dakota.
Here you actually get to do your own stories, and you get to go out and talk to people and interview and learn about the cameras and everything that goes into like a live television production. I mean, it's incredible.
Give it a try. I mean, even if you're not broadcasting communications major, anything, I mean, it's worth it.
Welcome back to Inside Fighting Sioux Hockey. I'm Tim Hennessy with head coach Dave Hakstol. Coach, Nebraska-Omaha is in this week at the Ralph. Their first trip as a WCHA team here. You played them earlier in Omaha. You had a wild shootout in the first game, winning 6-5, and then they score with a 3/10 of a second left on Saturday night to get the split. Your impressions of the Mavericks?
Well, we had a great series down there. I thought it was one of the more entertaining series that we've been involved in throughout the WCHA season for sure. They're a team that skates real well. They transition real well. They play a typically fast game in a lot of different areas and are very aggressive. So it should add up to a great series. There's a ton on the line, obviously, with WCHA positioning this weekend.
Well, you looked at the 4 games: Minnesota, Nebraska, Omaha. I'm guessing you figured now if you can get 3 wins out of those 4, that'd be a good way to start the second half.
Well, yeah, you've got to take advantage of your home games, and obviously we didn't have the start that we wanted Friday night against Minnesota. We have to make sure that that's not the case this weekend. We've got to take advantage of every period, every game here at home.
Coach, good luck against Nebraska-Omaha.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching Inside Fighting Sioux Hockey. If you have a question or a comment, by the way, for the coach or about the show, send us an email at hockeyshow@und.edu. On behalf of Coach Hakstol and the Sioux Hockey team, we thank all of our fans for watching. We'll see you next week on Inside Fighting Sioux Hockey.